Okay, we are going to break down a LeBron James injury. As you see, Steph Curry comes across half court. He's going to take a floater and miss it. Anthony Davis is going to get the rebound here. Pass to Alex Caruso, who's going to find LeBron in transition. Back to Caruso, back to LeBron. And that is when Draymond Green takes him out, injuring him. He is down in a heap. We don't know if he's going to be okay. He looks to be in some discomfort.
And James goes.
He's grabbing his eyes and his face.
Down, holding his.
As you see, he pulls that left leg up. This is very good for back support if you're going to be laying in that position. We know LeBron is a person who likes to sleep on his right side. So he pulls that leg up, supporting his back, knowing he's going to be on the ground here for the long haul. Next, as we follow this unfolding, LeBron believes that Draymond poked out both of his eyes and they're bleeding. So what is he going to do now is he will be checking his eyes for blood. Again, as you see multiple times, checking to see if there's blood on his hands gushing out of his eyes. And we cannot confirm if there is or isn't. Now, next thing that happens is we have an arm switch. LeBron switches, covering his face with his left hand, protecting his eyes from the glare of the Staples Center lights, as well as the white socks here of Caldwell Pope, and especially Wes Matthews, whose socks are just firing right into his eye line. Now you see, by switching his arms, that freed up his left hand to grab his knee, which he now has a torn ACL as part of the fall. And as you see, his ankles are flicking because he fractured one or possibly both of his ankles. So they are kind of like convulsing as if, like a dying animal. Now, something you see a lot in the world is people standing with their hands on their hips here and here. But what you don't see is a lot of people who walk with their hands on their hips. And as you will see here when we play it, Alex Caruso, former runway model, walks all the way down the court with his hands on his hips. Now, this referee here doesn't realize what's going on and kind of walks right across the path as Alex Caruso is making his way down his own runway with his hands on his hips, ruining the shot. Alex Caruso goes and tells his friends about how the ref ruined it. And here we have Frank Vogel breaking protocol. He's so upset. He knows LeBron will be stretchered off, and he is going to call a new play. And there it is. That was the play. Here in the background, we have a reporter wearing a mask. He is very happy that COVID hit because he has extreme halitosis. As you can see, he has 5 packs of gum here, and he has to breathe in his own halitosis every single breath. So what he does is he always had the gum here when it was non-masked to save Frank Vogel from getting the smell. But now he has to smell his own breath because his nose is trapped inside of his mask. So he just pops cinnamon and mint gum all game long to shield his own nose from the smell of his breath. So again, LeBron now believes that he may have a hip pointer. He wants us to know that his hip as well as is hurting as well. Again, checking for blood gushing out of his eyes. As we see the play again, it's a very dirty play. You see Draymond Green reaching forward for LeBron's face, not going straight up, going for LeBron's face. As you can see there, it looks to be his ring finger that's directly inside LeBron's eye, possibly touching part of his brain matter. You can't be sure from here. It's a little blurry, but it does appear as if he's touching brain matter. Then LeBron is at a very tough angle to land cleanly. He's at a 45-degree angle. I know this is not a math video, but this is a 45-degree angle, and it's not great for landing for human beings. Now LeBron comes down right on that ankle. It turns, and his knee buckles. It's actually very dangerous, but he immediately grabs for his face because the pain points all hit him at once. Again, you see his neck snap backward. He will be wearing a neck brace when he's not on the floor. Someone takes a picture. That's really rude.
That's going to be a flagrant.
It's going to be a flagrant, and it shouldn't be, but it will be.
Gundy is talking about whether or not it'll be a flagrant foul. He's going back and forth. And as you see here, watch this. This is impressive. Look at this call by the referee. they say being an NBA ref is very difficult. This guy was able to find the foul on Draymond Green. Very impressive. That's why he's a playoff referee.
Your thoughts on Draymond Green and that foul?
Before we get to Steve Jabby, LeBron has woken up, and he thinks he's sitting underneath his mama, and he says, "Mama," and she says, "How are you feeling, LeBron?" And he goes, "Ma," and she says, "You're going to be okay." And the problem is she's not speaking in a way that he can understand, and so he looks very confused. See, he's very perplexed as to what she is saying. And now Steve Jabby is on the scene. He's going to break this down. Unfortunately, back at the league office, it's mime day. So Steve Jabby is miming. He's not using words. Steve Jabby also is very happy about COVID. You may remember Steve Jabby from other times when they've cut away from him and he was not ready. And he had a big old lip, a.k.a. tobacco, in his mouth, chewing it, spitting it, and you could see it in his teeth and in his lip. So he is very happy that COVID hits because now he can have his lippers in and nobody at home is any the wiser. So again, he's doing his best miming impression. And we cut back to LeBron, who's getting up. And he looks like he's going to be okay. As you see, we have Eric Spoelstra in disguise here. He just put a man bun on, and he is here trying to get all the Lakers plays in case they meet in the finals again. One more time, we see the play right to the face. LeBron goes down. What a call by this referee. Alex Caruso thinks it's a flagrant.
All right, Steve, thank you. I'm just heartened that Steve agrees with both of you.
No, he doesn't.
He didn't agree with us.
We said it's going to be called. He says it's not.
Oh, but he agrees with you in that you don't think it should be.
Right.
So
It's
the
gonna be
announcers
called, right.
just basically had the most confusing 10 seconds possibly in commentary history, where they all just agreed with each other while arguing at the same time. LeBron down very bad
To
on
me,
his
there was
ankle and his
contact
knee.
on the head. according
And
to
look
the
at
rule.
Bazemore
not
right here. He
everything
says,
that
"Here, I'll help you up," as if LeBron was going to be up in 1 second. He obviously doesn't know LeBron's history very well. LeBron will be down for 5 to 6 minutes. But Bazemore, trying to be a good friend, wants to help him up.
Head is a flagrant foul.
You need to make up your mind, sir.
No, I don't think it is one. I think it will be called one. And I hate when games are decided on these.
Here's Wacko Jacko and Jeff Van Gundy, former Knicks coach, very opinionated guy. And unfortunately here he's going to have a mild stroke. There it was.
Influence by
It's still happening.
They're
And,
trying to split
Then
the
he
atom
turns
over
to a
there.
science
And
discussion,
just, can we play?
isolating himself from many of the viewers at home. LeBron now getting eyewash. Look, LeBron has been in blockbuster movies such as Trainwreck and the new Space Jam. And while a great actor, the one thing he has not mastered yet is crying on command, and he needs the help
Absolutely.
here.
You have
He is
covered
trying to
every
earn
base,
himself
by the way,
a
my
flagrant foul.
Well
And
done.
Look at that. Look at that dedication.
obviously
Look at that
shaken up.
right there. He is LeBron James, injured LeBron. He's playing the character of injured LeBron James. Tears streaming down his face.
By
He
the
needs
play.
more. He says more.
So he's going to get 2 free throws.
And
but
he's
will he
smart.
get 2 free throws and will they get possession?
And he's smart enough to make sure they
And
know
Gundy
he's
is now
hurt.
calling him a faker as the haters come pouring in. There it is. Look at that face. Referee says it's a common foul.
I'm going to name my next son
And Gundy
John
said he's
Gold.
naming his next son after the referee for not calling it a flagrant. I did not know Van Gundy was still in the business of having children, but it looks like he has picked a name.
Thank
The
you,
other
John.
referee
Bring
is now
some
talking
sanity
to
back
Draymond Green.
to the NBA.
It's rare you
You know,
find a
and
time
again,
that
part
Draymond
of
Green's
it-
not yelling at you, so this
it's just such
referee
a
takes
crucial
this
call for-
opportunity to
And he's
become
looking, he's
friends
going
with
up to block
Draymond.
the shot hands down. I think what Steve said, there's no wind-up, and the impact is
So,
because James comes into
As
him.
you heard Mike Breen say that there was
And
no
I'm not gonna
wind-up.
take-
So
I'm not
basically
gonna
what they're
explain
saying is if you
myself.
start straight up and just swing forward, that's okay. It's a common foul. So what you can't do is wind up and hit someone in the head. But if you start at a 90-degree angle and then hit forward as hard as you can, that is okay. That is a common foul. I'm glad that they have explained that for us.
To the whole LA roster.
LeBron is making it back to the court.
Play
He said,
the ball.
Well, James
he
will
said
get
I
the
can't
2 free
see anything,
throws.
bro. As you see here,
not-
Draymond has a bit of a twitch going on the side of his mouth. See that?
Good at
Again, he is
Lip
doing
reading,
nothing but yell
lip
and
reading,
run
but I
his
think-
mouth.
You just said something
And
about
that's all that Draymond does. If you don't know much about Draymond Green,
Trouble
I will
seeing.
fill you in. What he does is he runs his mouth and runs up and down the floor. That's it. He doesn't score. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't really do anything. He just runs up and down the floor running his yapper. Now, you know that he does that because his mouth is open, as you can see, so you know he's running his mouth. And you see that he does have some sweat here and a little here and here where he's kind of losing his hair a little bit. There is some sweat in those little pockets there as he's starting to make the little U-shape, the U-shaped island that we all get when we get a little older. And there is sweat in all of those little crevices there. So you know he's running his mouth and he's running up and down the floor. And that is what Draymond Green does. He's now explaining to people that it wasn't a flagrant foul, even though the refs already said it's not a flagrant
Steve
foul.
He said it was an awkward
he still
fall,
feels
and that made it look
like
worse
it's
than
necessary
it was.
to
And apparently got
prove
poked
it
in the eye,
wasn't.
too.
My only
LeBron
problem
at the
with
free
it,
throw
it wasn't
line,
a contest
there's
to
no
the
way he can make
basketball.
this.
It was a contest to the
because of the
face.
severity
Because he
of the
can't
injury.
jump as well.
And he makes it. It's unbelievable. Tying the game with 2 minutes to go.
Ties the
Look at
game
that.
with
He can barely see.
2:07 remaining.
I've been there before, squinting my eyes just in case
Now
I miss
Mark
a free
Jackson
throw,
is
so I have
jumping
an
on the
excuse.
hater
I've been
train. LeBron has another triple-double.
Had a rough first half, but has made huge plays here in the second half. A triple-double.
LeBron misses a second, throwing
Misses the second.
that
And a-
extra down on the ground. We don't know his name. He probably doesn't have one. But LeBron needed retribution for what happened to him, so he threw that guy with no name down on the ground and then walks away. Draymond Green, the only one to help him up
This ball foul's
because
gonna-
Draymond knows, well, I did this to LeBron, so we knew he was going to take it out on someone. I'm sorry it was you, buddy, but I'm glad it wasn't me. So 98 all, 2 minutes to go, and we
Go
will
against
see who
LeBron
wins the game.
James. Jordan Poole did a good job. First